Hey, this is Eli Campbell. You know, Steamboat is renowned worldwide for skiing, biking, and all that our natural playground has to offer. We're fortunate, though, that the natural beauty here attracts more than just outdoor enthusiasts. From local legends to world-class acts, amazing musicians regularly play the venues in our little corner of Northwest Colorado. Join me as I explore the stories and experiences of these talented artists who bring unforgettable performances to Steamboat. This is your Steamboat Soundcheck.
The song is called Write About You, and I wrote it about a guy that I dated in high school for 3 years, and when we broke up, he told me not to write a song about him. And I was like, dude, you dated a songwriter and then you made her mad. Obviously, she's gonna write a song about you. So this one's called Write About You. I was the new girl in a new town, in a class and I got the up down. From all the boys and the girls, ain't no that stare. Just started 9th grade, out way back when I felt my phone buzz, but it was no can. I just fell in love, so I didn't really have a care. Went to Oco, got a snow cone. Funny, I had to pay for mine. I'm not spoiled, but I was told that a man should treat me right. You said not to write a song about you, about you, about you. So I wrote a few songs about you, about you, about you. There's so much I have to share, but to you I swear I'm sad to say I'm almost right about you. We were the new thing in a small town, latest gossip, yeah, we were talked about by all the girls, but I didn't really know back then. You were known for what you're known for, getting girls. I was told that you kept score in a book, but I was just happy you would. When I found out without a doubt that you never treat me right, should have ran fast, never looked back. Could have done it that very same night. You said not to write a song about you, about you, about you. So I wrote a few songs about you, about you, about you. There's so much I have to share, but to you I swear I'm sad to say I'm almost right about you. It was the 4th of July when you sat me down in that car. We talked and I cried. If only I had my guitar. You said not to write a song about you, about you, about you. So I wrote a few songs about you, about you, about you. There's so much I have to share, but to you I swear I'm sad to say I'm almost right about you. Right about you. I'm almost right about you.
Eli Campbell here on the Steamboat Soundcheck. Happy to be joined by one of our favorite local musicians, Adia Clark Lay. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Now, I'm excited to have you here because one of my earliest memories of you, we didn't even know each other at the time, but you were, I think, maybe 14 years old playing down at the farmers markets. And I was
Sounds about right.
I was always so impressed at, you know, you maybe weren't as polished of a musician as you are now, but just the poise that you had and getting up there in front of those crowds, what it took for someone at 14 years old. But tell me about the experience for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I started choir in 2nd grade, so that definitely shaped me into the musician that I am today. It started, I started performing in front of crowds, and I learned how to sing properly. And then I also started guitar lessons, and then we would have little concerts, basically, like every so often after we would learn new songs. And I started on classical, but then eventually I was like, I want to play Taylor Swift. So we started playing covers of stuff like that, and then I joined basically a School of Rock band, and here I am now.
Yeah, and playing Taylor Swift, I think that's the story of many young female
Yeah.
musicians. But was that something, even at 14 years old, did you know that music was the career path that you wanted to choose, or was it more of just a kind of side project, a hobby?
Yeah, I mean, I've never wanted to do anything else. Like growing up, I never wanted to be an astronaut, a doctor, a firefighter. I always wanted to be a musician. So it's amazing that that's what I'm able to do now.
And you've gone from Steamboat now to the Berklee School of Music, and I mean, quite a transition, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But from coming from such small town roots, what has that been like for you?
So I'm originally from the Chicago area. I've lived in Steamboat for 7 years, but I started 8th grade here and obviously like did a lot of my growing up in Steamboat. And then going to Boston, it kind of reminds me of Chicago. It's a much smaller city, but there's a lot of history. The buildings are beautiful. And being with 7,000 other kids my age that are doing exactly what I want to do is such a cool experience because being in such a small town, there's not a lot of people here that want to do what I want to do.
And there have been a few that have kind of gone on from Steamboat
Yeah.
to get into the music industry. Carly Hanley is one. There have been a few others that have kind of gone more into the production
Yeah.
side of things, but still going off to a place like Boston with 7,000 students and in Steamboat, you can kind of call up the person that is organizing the farmers market and
Yeah.
say, hey, I want to play. But in Boston, it's a little bit more of a challenge. You have a
Definitely.
much more competition.
Yeah.
What has that transition been like for you?
So my gig schedule is definitely busier at home than it is in Boston, which is kind of a relief. Like when I'm home, I'm not doing school, so it's my time to focus and gig and make money and just get myself out there. But when I'm at school, I want to focus on my classes, of course, but it's expensive. I need to make money as well, and of course I want to gig and meet new people and show my music to new people. So I've took my skills that I have gained from booking myself in Steamboat and started reaching out to venues in Boston. I started a band last semester, so we started playing a couple of shows, and Berklee has a lot of performance spaces, so hopefully we'll be able to play those in the coming semesters.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of making money in the business side of things, I'm wondering how much you have learned about that through your college experience. I see you on Instagram doing a lot of reels, and that's obviously something that has changed in the music industry over the past 5 or 10 years. That's part of being an independent musician now.
Yeah.
How much of that is part of what you're learning in school?
So we have this new class that was introduced last semester called Social Media for Music Makers. I haven't had a chance to take it yet, but I want to. And yeah, basically it's just like all of these tactics that are new for the music industry because you never used to have to do this, be posting every day, which I started doing just over 3 months ago, and I looked the other day, I've gained over 900 followers, which is crazy, but it's so good to see that the hard work is paying off, and I'm seeing the growth, and it makes me feel a little bit better about all the time I'm putting in. But yeah, I would say like the money side of it, I definitely make the most money from my gigs.
Yeah.
I mean, streams, I make 0.5 cent from every stream, so guys, go stream my music on repeat.
Stream the music, and we've got some new music
Yeah.
that they can stream. Talk about the new
Exactly.
EP.
So the new EP comes out on August 21st, and I don't know when this is airing, but it technically drops tonight at 10 p.m., Tuesday, the 20th, and it'll be 4 songs. It's my debut EP, and I just released my first country song. It was a single off of this EP, Water My Flowers. That one is about moving away to college. I wrote it this past year and kind of perfected it for an assignment for class. And then the other songs are breakup songs.
Which happens from
Yeah.
time to time. And
Write what you know.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about kind of your first country song, is that part of still trying to refine and find your voice in this business and in this art form, or is it just something that you thought, this song that I'm writing right now would really sound better in that format?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote my first country song last summer, and I didn't start listening to country, like actually listening to country, until like mid-pandemic. Of course, I grew up listening to Taylor Swift, and she used to be country and then kind of transitioned into pop and folk and like everything that she is now. So I listened to Taylor Swift's country when I was little, but I started listening to like actual country just a couple of years ago. So I just kind of dove head first and wrote my first country song last summer, and now most of the songs that I write are country, so I want to eventually be in Nashville after graduation, and then I think that's the direction that I'm going to continue to go towards.
And so many incredible musicians do go that direction. Now, one thing I do want to ask you about is a special, very special experience that you were able to have this summer at Red Rocks. You were able to kind of, it was I saw a video of it. I'm not exactly sure what it was. A special, very small, intimate performance from really the person that gave you your name in a sense. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so me and my family, my mom and my dad, went to go see Sarah McLachlan, and I'm named after one of her songs, Adia, because my mom is a huge fan. She's actually watching right now, and I can see her tearing up. But I brought a sign that says, "My name is Adia." And then we were able to go in to watch her sound check before the actual show at Red Rocks. And I held up the sign and I was like, "Sarah, my name is Adia." And then she saw me and we had a conversation, and I wasn't expecting to cry, but I cried. And then of course my parents are crying. It was such an amazing experience.
And it's one of those, I don't want to put the pressure out there, but if you're ever able to get to that stage yourself, it's one of those stories that would be able to bring things full circle. And obviously those are goals of yours, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think people don't understand how much work it takes for someone that's trying to break through to get there.
Especially independently, I'm doing this all by myself, and of course I have the support of my family, but everything that I'm doing is on my own.
And the money that goes into everything, we were talking before this about the cost of microphones and everything.
Yeah.
There's at a point you're spending a lot more money than you are making money, but hopefully people will get the EP and, as you said, stream the songs many, many times over. A half cent per song can add up.
Mom streams them all day, every day, and I know that all of the money that I make is coming from her.
That's what parents are for.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to have you play a couple of songs, and then I just wish you the best as you're moving into your last year of school at Berklee.
Thank you. So this next one is called On the Rocks, and I actually wrote it probably 8 months ago over spring break. I stayed behind in Boston, and I was just sitting alone in my apartment, and I was like, okay, I'll write a song today. So I came up with On the Rocks as the title, and I was thinking that it would be a cool idiom for a breakup, but also alcohol. And I'm sober, underage, and like I said, I don't drink. So I was Googling away drinks that you would have on the rocks. So if you listen very closely, you'll hear a couple references in the song. Tough